Welcome into your daily Buckeye Blitz for a Friday. It's a football Friday, September 27th, 2024. Welcome in. It's also a recovery Friday. We made it through Hurricane Helene. Um, no major structural damage or anything like that, so we're good to go. Uh, Glad I don't live on the first floor. I'll just say that. Sorry for my neighbors. Um, oh, one thing I wanted to remember. So sorry, this is coming out late on Friday. We'll have your best bets out later tonight or first thing in the morning. I'm not doing any of the Friday. I'm not doing the Friday game. So um, we want to say congratulations to Threes, our guy Threes, James Laurinaitis, on the birth of his son last night, Maverick Levi Laurinaitis. Interesting name, Mav. So, congrats to Threes and mom and the entire family. So, hopefully, everybody's doing well. So yeah, I'm sick. Our power went out last night at like 10 p.m. Yeah, 10 p.m. So I got like zero sleep. You ever try sleeping in Florida without AC? Now I know what it was like before the invention of air conditioning. That's why nobody lived here. Nobody started moving here until the 60s, when air conditioning was a thing. But now I understand. This place sucks without air conditioning. Let me just tell you. Um, Anyways, yeah, random people just wandering around the golf course. Golf course is covered in garbage, sticks, and trees and shit down. Anyway, nobody cares. But let's get into it here. So the Buckeyes, this is your five keys to a Buckeye victory, by the way. Sorry, I'm like half asleep here. So five keys, five things we're looking at. This is the tightest game we've gone into so far with just a 24-point spread. So 7:30 on the Peacock. Weather looks like it's going to be 59 degrees, cloudy, mild, a couple of showers. Not much wind, like 7 miles an hour, gust up to 16, 84% chance of rain. So I don't know if it's going to rain during the game or not, but it's supposed to be wet during the day. So on top of that, you got Mark D'Antonio. He's being inducted into the Michigan State Ring of Honor Saturday night. So it's a night game. It's going to bring plenty of juice without the added, craziness. So you're going to have a hostile crowd, but this is the thing that Ohio State football players like to do. They like to, what I think it was Josh Simmons said the other day. We'd like to go into somebody else's house and take their food. That's that's perfect. Great analogy. So, starting off, key to a Buckeye victory number one. We're starting off here with the Sparty quarterback, Aiden Childs. He's getting a couple wide receivers back, Nick Marsh and Jerron Glover. They're already down two right guards on their O line going into this. And then last week, senior Brandon Baldwin, he started 13 games at left tackle. He moved to guard against Boston College. So you got a redshirt freshman, Stanton Ramel. He will make his first collegiate start at left tackle. Sounds like a big problem to me. He's a redshirt freshman, so just a second year guy. We'll see what he's got. I'd be very concerned if I were wearing green. But this O line has only allowed 1.3 on average, 1.3 sacks per game. That's 39th in the country. That's good. So we'll see what happens. The thing is here with this Childs guy, he's got to be close to perfect for this to be even close to a ball game. The Buckeyes are getting Tyleik Williams back, so that's feather in our cap. But pressure, my key number one is pressure equals turnovers. This guy loves to throw it to the other team. He had 3 picks against Boston College. Yes, I know one was at the end of the game. They were trying to lead a comeback, but he had 2 against Maryland. He's a 54% completion percentage. That's terrible. Um, yeah, so passing yards per game, the Buckeyes are fourth in the country. They allow 113. So but this guy can get it done running the ball, even with his weapons coming back at receiver. So the DNs, like Ryan Day talked about it this past week, they got to rush without running by the quarterback and just creating lanes of pasture for open grazing, right? So you got to rush, but you know, don't go so far upfield that you're just opening holes for him to run through. So we saw that against Marshall and their quarterback. It's not even close to the same athlete as Childs. So pressure the quarterback and contain. Childs has 27 carries, 95 yards, 3 touchdowns on the season. So linebackers are going to be tested. D line, everybody, the front seven, six, whatever they are, they're going to be tested. We need to see better tackling from the linebackers and pressure, and the pressure will lead to INTs and opportunities for the defense. So that's Keto Buckeye victory number one, kind of long, but there's a lot in there. Keto Buckeye victory number two, O-line. This is the first big challenge in the trenches in pass protection and in the run game. So the Spartans had the most sacks in the Big Ten with 15, and they are the best in the Big Ten in red zone defense. So they tackle well in space. They bring pressure from different angles, and they want to contain this Ohio State running game. They want to cut down on those chunk yards, the big plays. So they are number 2 in the country in sack percentage. 14% of dropbacks, they get a sack. The Buckeyes, though, are number 32 in the country, allowing 3% quarterback sacks. Now, opponent rushing yards, they're very stout against the run. They only allow 3.1 yards per rush. That's 19th in the country. Now, the Buckeyes, on the flip side, though, a lot of it was padded by last week's game. The Buckeyes, though, average 7.1 yards per rush. That's third in the country. So kind of a strength versus strength here for both teams. And this is up to the O-line to first cut down on the sacks, give Will the time he needs, and then, of course, move people off the ball. Let's run the ball and get the running game going, especially if it's going to be wet. Keto Buckeye victory number 3, quarterback Will Howard. Let's continue to be sharp in the passing game. Opponent passing yards allowed by Michigan State is 170 per game. That's 32nd in the country. But the Buckeyes, they put up 311 per game. That's 15th in the country. So, again, kind of a strength versus strength here. Who's going to break? The Buckeyes don't throw picks. 1 on the season. Sparty likes to force picks. They're number 27 in the country, allowing forcing 4% interceptions thrown. So, Will Howard, just let's stay sharp, clean, no mistakes, and obviously no turnovers. Let's continue to move the ball. And one thing for Will Howard, use your feet to keep drives alive. If it's not there in the pass game, pull it down, scamper out of bounds for 7, 8 yards, whatever is there, and keep the chains moving. All right, key to a Buckeye victory number 4. Let's see some sustained drives on the offense, 8 to 12 plays, 65 to 75 yards. You can't bank on big plays week in and week out, right? Move the chains methodically. Wet conditions, again, on a grass field. This is a grass surface, so that just screams run the ball, right? So sustained drives, chunk plays, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-yard rushes, and let's take it down the field, methodically and without much risk, right? So let's see sustained drives, multiple sustained drives, and go from there. All right, Keto Buckeye victory number 5. Secondary, the Buckeye defense, they got to tighten up on these wide receivers. Childs put up 360 yards against Maryland earlier in the season. The Buckeyes allowed 18 receptions last week versus Marshall. That's way too many. That's a 7.7 average they allowed and a touchdown, which may or may not have been a touchdown. Looks like a dude's foot was out. Anyway, so you got Sparty with their top receivers. Nick Marsh has 11 catches, 232 yards, and a touchdown. He's a big play guy, had a 77-yarder. Montori Foster Jr., 17 catches, 200 yards. And then the tight end, don't forget about the tight end, Jack Veiling, 12 receptions, 159 yards. So they like to throw the ball at different levels. Obviously, tight end, more of the shorter routes and seam routes down the middle, but your deep balls and stuff to Marsh. And then the other dude that's coming back, Glover, I believe, and then Foster Jr. These guys, they will spread it around. So DBs got to tighten up on these receivers. We can't afford 18 more receptions this week. These guys will make you pay. So that's it. That's my Buckeye key to Buckeye victories. Number one, defense, linebackers better tackling. D-line, get pressure, but contain the quarterback. O-line is key to Buckeye victory number two. They like to bring pressure, and they're a stout run defense, lead the Big Ten in sacks, so you got to be on your P's and Q's on the O-line. Key to a Buckeye victory number three, Will Howard. Let's stay sharp in the pass game. And no mistakes this week. Clean. If it has to be a shorter routes and more, safe routes, that's fine. And use your feet to keep drives alive. Number four, sustained drives on offense. Let's go 8 to 12 plays on a few drives. I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wet conditions, move the chains, and then key to a Buckeye victory number five, secondary, the DBs tighten up on these wide receivers and let's shut them down. All right. Please hit like and subscribe on this video. That's all I got for you today. Talk to you tomorrow. Good Bucks.